All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Trustees Special Board Meeting. Today's Monday, July 15th, 2024, and I call this meeting to order at exactly 4:30 p.m. Roll call. Dr. Ariel Cruz. Mr. Rudy Corona.
Present.
Mr. Frutoso Gomez.
Present.
Ms. Chris Hernandez.
Present.
Mr. Alex Reina.
Present.
Mr. Israel Barrial III.
Present.
Mr. Alfredo Perez. Mr. Tony Torres. Present. Thank you, sir. Let's move on to agenda item 1.2, public comment. And I pass it on to Mr. Corona.
The next item on the agenda is public comment. Before we begin, I will remind our audience, members of the board's procedures for handling public comments. The public comment portion of our meeting is available to members of the public according to the following. At regular board meetings, the board shall permit public comment regardless of whether the topic is an item on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. At all other board meetings, public comment shall be limited to items on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. Anyone who would like to speak during public comment must sign in prior to the start of the meeting and list the topics they want to discuss. An individual's public comment to the board shall not exceed 5 minutes per meeting. Please keep your comments or criticism civil and courteous. Please avoid using profanity and refrain from making personal attacks on others during your opportunity to speak. We ask that you do not discuss students who are not your own children. In addition, the participating individuals shall adhere to the following. State their full name and what organization or group, if any, is being represented. Indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. Shall refrain from commenting directly on any individual employee or public official by name, but may refer to a specific employment area, job title, or the board as a whole, and shall refrain from attacks on individuals. Lastly, if after at least one warning from the presiding officer, any individual continues to disrupt the meeting by his or her words or actions, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the individual removed from the meeting. If a speaker, if a speaker is seeking board resolution of a specific complaint, that concern should be addressed through the district's grievance process. District policy DGBA has been established for addressing employee complaints. Policy FNG is the avenue of the following parent complaints, and policy GF addresses community member complaints. Grievance forms can be obtained at the campus administration office or the district central administration office. Thank you. Our first speaker this evening is Ms. Lupita. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. First, I'd like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. Of course, I know I'm going to speak on the policy 2.2, discussing and consideration of superintendent search. Give me 1 second here. Good afternoon, Board President, Mr. Lopez, Vice President Ariel Cruz, Board Secretary, Mr. Corona, Boards of Trustees, and Acting Superintendent. I would like to take this time to thank each and every one of you on the process and transparency on hiring TASB Executive Search Services, though it did cost us stakeholders and taxpayers $10,500. But it was well utilized for the experts to come in to review and screen the applicants' knowledge, candidates with years of superintendent experience of managing problem solving and day-to-day operations of the school. I would also like to commend each and everyone to allowing you the knowledge and the entire community by making it possible also take part in the first time ever history of a superintendent search access. To fill out this survey for the boards of trustees to take consideration of our feedback, absolutely amazing and incredible. I would also like to recognize Board President, Dr. Vice President Cruz, Mr. Corona, Secretary, for reaching out to the entire community by sharing the survey on Facebook, and of course also the Samlita SD. That was absolutely great. This was a great example of transparency and motivation for our community members and myself to be asked by the Board of Trustees of our feedback. That was epic. And also, I would like to say, I know it's something that's not easy, because you remember you're going to have to make sure that you hire the qualified superintendent with years of experience, because not only do you have to think about that superintendent's years, but you also have to think about the employees, our teachers, our students. What can he give us to make San Benito our gold standard? That's what it is, our gold standard. That's one of the things. And I know every one of you, by your vote, that you're going to make the right choice. You know, and that's one of the things that I would like to also say, that when you come out, to be transparent. Because I remember the last time that we had that, there was no transparency, and nobody knew how they voted. It's not to pick out or pinpoint. It's just to make sure that this is what you want for the best of our community, of course. So in closing, I would also, of course, I know that the stakeholders paid, again, $10,500, because I've heard, for the superintendent search that will process in the best experience qualifications of years for a superintendent to yet merge for a beloved San Benito. Again, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to agenda item 2.0, closed meeting. In accordance with the Texas Government Code Open Meetings Act, the board may move into closed session for the following reasons. Section 551071 for the purpose of private consultation with the board's attorney and or all subject or matters authorized by law. Section 551.074 for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employees, or to hear the complaints or charges against a public officer or an employee. Section 551.078 for certain school board deliberations. And at this time, we go into executive session at exactly 4:37 p.m. Thank you. Okay, good evening. We reconvene into open session at exactly 7:31 p.m. Let's move on to agenda item 3.1, discussion of possible action on superintendent search. No action. Let's move on to agenda item number 4. Adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. I got a motion by Mr. Frutoso. I got a second by Dr. Ariel Cruz. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. We adjourn this meeting at exactly 7:31 p.m. Have a good evening.